Yay, we are
Yay.
live. Good
Yay.
morning.
Good morning.
I always look forward to this day, especially because the sun is shining, right, Elvira? So beautiful.
Is the
We
sun shining where you are?
yes.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
2 days
Not
it's
where
been,
I am. Okay.
oh, I love it. So
And we're
we
not
are,
that far.
I know, like half an hour? That's weird.
Yeah.
We are always so joyful when we jump on here with you guys. We are so excited. We're so blessed. This is Conversations to Raise Vibrations with Lisa Kelly and the beautiful Elvira Hopper, as always. So lovely. If you're joining us live, yay, we're so excited. Please, hopefully you've given StreamYard permission to share your name. If not, just let us know in the comment section who you are. And if you're watching later, just hit hashtag replay. And of course, always, even if you've watched this, jump over to the YouTube channel and like, share, and subscribe, because there's always somebody who could use this content, I feel. So, so excited to be here. Who do we have here? Janet, sun is out here.
Yay.
Hello, beautiful Lisa and Elvira. Yay.
Oh,
The sun
hello, Janet.
honestly just makes me feel, and I know I love Jennifer Hawkins when she said the sun is always shining behind the clouds, and I
Yeah.
love that perspective.
Yeah.
There's just something about the sun. Yesterday I stood out and I just literally opened my eyes. I'm just
Yeah.
so grateful for
It's so high vibe, right? To lie in the
my
sun.
life. I love it
Yeah.
so. Yeah. So it is so good to be here, and we think we have a great show for you guys today. You guys will
We
be the
never know.
we never know, but we'll just I will tell you this: we're always channeling.
Yes.
So us are
ABC, always be channeling.
always channeling. What are you getting? And this morning I picked up and I wrote it down here, and then I looked what I wrote down, and the hurried mind versus the inspired mind, and then so you can't make this shit up. On my on my tea here,
Yeah.
it says, nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. And that's from, and help me pronounce his name, the beautiful Buddhist monk Lao Tzu.
Lao
Lao
Tzu.
Tzu.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, so
Chills,
I was like,
chills.
okay, maybe there's something in this. So I'm going to write about it later. But for this, I was like, yeah, the hurried mind versus the inspired mind. And then the other thing I wrote down was motivation versus inspiration. And I saw that from Gabby Bernstein yesterday. And I was like, yeah, because for me, and I don't know about you, Elvira, I always want to be inspired in spirit,
Yeah.
because then I feel like it's not work. It's just joy and things are just flowing, like when you're just writing and it just starts to flow, and, all of these beautiful things just come through you,
Yeah.
even though doesn't feel like work. But I guess technically when you're working your business, it is work, but it doesn't feel like it
No.
because you're inspired, you're inspired,
Yes.
right?
Yes. I love that.
Whereas motivation, I feel like, oh God, motivation. I gotta get up. I gotta
It's
moving.
heavier, right? It's like motivation versus inspiration. Like there's a heavier
It,
aspect, don't you think?
you know what? Perfect. And we're all energetic beings. So we know how does that feel energetically when you say it? For some,
Yeah.
maybe motivation feels great, and that's awesome for you.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
me, it feels much like the word goals, and everybody knows how. And I think we feel the same
Goals
way.
versus intentions. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And it's just, it just feels really heavy. So,
Yeah.
I loved that today. So we're going to talk a little bit about, being in the inspiration versus being in that hurried. I think hurried and motivation. You let me know what you think, but I think
Yeah.
I've gotta. That I call it the gotta mind, right? We're always
Yeah.
gotta get this done. I have to do this. I have to do this. And I saw a beautiful reel from somebody the other day, 30-second reel. How about I get to do this? I get to
Yes.
wash the
Thank
dishes.
you.
I get
Yeah.
to put away my groceries. I get to do laundry. There's people that would love to do that and can't because of,
Yeah.
physical reasons or whatever, right?
Or
So
homelessness or whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
going to say that too. So,
Yeah.
like, I think it's the way we shift things and live from that place of inspiration versus motivation or
Yeah.
the hurt of mind. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think, yeah, I couldn't agree more. What's coming to me right now is that motivation is kind of attached to ego, right?
Mm.
Where we're living in this place of, I gotta, and I gotta be motivated and I gotta crush those goals and, get in my exercise and, all those things, right? And that used to be me. So, I mean, maybe there's someone watching that can relate to that, right? Like type A personality, go, 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 gotta crush the goals. Like I used to be, a big pharma, multi-award winning rep. And, I had to win the trip at the end of the year. And, I was motivated, man. Like, so
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was a whole, yeah, I was a whole different being back then. I think back to it, like I still love her. I have compassion for her.
of
But
course.
it's like who I am today is so different, right? And I know you're the same, Lisa. Like, yeah, we had a breakdown, led to a breakthrough, and now
Yeah,
we get to live consciously and we
yeah.
get to be inspired.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
we get to choose how we want to show up in the world, and as a result we attract certain situations, people, things, and life is a lot easier now. It's not saying it's perfect, but we have enough tools and teachings that support us. Just a conversation like this can shift us out of a low vibe. This is why this is my best conversation of the week, is that
Yeah,
whatever's going on, I know I'm going to feel better at the end of this conversation. And these are the kind of conversations we can have for the rest of our lives. We can choose
yeah,
to be in conscious conversation with people. This is what's coming through. Choose conscious conversations. If people in your life aren't living consciously, that's okay. You can still love them.
yeah.
Just don't worry about needing them to understand you and validate you. You can have people in your inner circle, we call it the IC, your inner circle, where you do feel that, what, I'm not crazy. This is the way, like you and I, like we're in each other's inner circles, right? Janet's in mine, I'm in hers, right? My team as well, they're all in my inner circle, because I don't feel like a freak around them. I am a bit of a freak, but I don't feel like a real freak because I feel safe, seen, celebrated, and supported, because we're all living consciously, right? But
Yeah,
there's a lot of people that don't even know what living consciously means. They're still living in that go, go, go motivation world. Some people call it the matrix, right? And they live there because they don't know any other way. And
right,
so this is why there's people like us on the planet that are helping people to do their inner work of waking up and healing and evolving to become who they truly are versus who the world told them that they were.
right.
And so sorry, I'm just kind of riffing off of that.
No,
And
good.
does that
I love it.
resonate? Does that
Not
resonate?
100%. And I'm just reading some comments. Flipping the script, Janet says, to I get to is a great part of gratitude. Yes. And then
Mm-hmm.
someone else, I think it's MJ and Jennifer that are on here. So
Nice.
hello.
Hi, MJ. Hi, Jennifer.
Because and oh, and Tori Joe is
Hi,
on
Tori
here.
Joe.
Oh, hello. I love seeing these beautiful names come up.
Oh.
Um, inspiration instead of motivation. Yes. And oh, our lovely inner circle of freaks.
That's probably Jennifer.
That's hilarious. And
Well, you
Kate
know
Ju-
what? You got to go to the people where you feel safe, seen, celebrated, and supported. I've told my story of how I had two best friends, very in the matrix, very in the 3D world, and when I crossed over to 4D and 5D,
yeah,
depending on the day, I'm in either, which is living more soulfully, more aligned with the divine, right? Inspiration, inspired with spirit, living
yeah,
in that space. They couldn't see me anymore. They thought I was a freak. They looked at me like I had three heads.
yeah. Oh,
And
yeah,
I had to separate. I had to put them in my far outer circle, or
yeah,
as we like to say in the Love Your Vibe transformation, I fock them with love and light. I put them in my
yeah,
far outer circle because they used to be my best friends. They were in my inner circle.
yeah,
And the fact that I didn't feel safe, seen, celebrated, and supported around them when I became a jazz singer at 51, one didn't show up at my jazz CD launch. The other one showed up and talked to my mother the whole time. Neither of them could see me as my new authentic self. They
mhm,
saw me
mhm.
as the old self that was very 3D, very go go go, very
Right,
motivated,
right.
but not living, my truth back then. And
Mhm.
that's why I
Yeah,
struggled with my mental health
yeah,
and my physical health and my marriage,
yeah,
and I wasn't living my full potential, which I am now.
Yeah.
and my potential keeps growing. So you know, I'm sort of using that as an example of, you know, people aren't bad if they're living in this 3D world, if they're in the matrix. Like those
Yeah.
two best, you know, old besties of mine, they're wonderful people. I still love them. If they,
Mhm.
you know, again, if they ever needed a kidney, I'd be in the hospital donating. But I can't have them in my inner circle. I choose to
Yeah.
surround myself with those that get it, that are
Mhm.
on this
Mhm.
conscious path. And I
Mhm.
encourage all of us to love people from a distance. And I teach you how to do it free online. If you go to elvirahopper.com, love people from a distance and keep those close where you do feel safe, not
Mhm.
judged, seen, not judged, celebrated, not judged, and
Yeah.
supported. You know, so that's what I see. And
Yeah.
how about you, Lisa? Do you
I
have
love it.
people
I
in your
love it.
inner
I just
circle
want to
that,
honor. Sorry, I
yeah?
made a mistake. I thought it was Jennifer. It's Eleanor. Eleanor there. So
Eleanor, yes, okay. That makes even more sense. Yeah.
for
She's
jumping
all
the
about the freakiness. Yeah.
I love it. So I just
Let your
wanted to
freak flag fly. Sorry,
yeah,
sorry. Go ahead.
that's okay. I just wanted to make sure we honored her. And Tori Joe says, I am my own inner circle.
Mm.
And me too. Haha, funny how I am not showing now. Okay, I think that's about giving StreamYard permission. So you know what? It is about when you're in that hurried mind, and you were saying the 3D world, and it's not a bad thing because I think, you know, I was watching a Joe Dispenza episode, and what we cannot possibly always be in the 5D world. We are human
Mhm.
beings having a spiritual spirits, and it's very hard to always be in a 5D world. And the
Yeah.
way he explained it is when you go into that deep meditation, and we've all felt it, I'm sure, where you almost feel like you're having an out of body experience, right? And you can feel like it's actually pretty cool to feel the 5D that's going. He
Mhm.
calls it the quantum
Yeah.
world, right? The quantum physics world. As I said to my husband who was watching this, I go, call it what you want, call it
Yeah.
5D, call it quantum, call it the spiritual world, whatever
Yeah.
makes sense for you. It really doesn't matter,
Yeah. Yeah.
but that world exists, right?
Mhm.
Outside of this physical 3D body, it exists for us. And the more we can get there, the more we can spend time in that world. Obviously, the more we are living from that inspiration
Yeah.
versus ego, the hurried mind, the motivated, the goals, goals, goals. I want to talk about that too in a second because when I was in a network marketing company, that's how it felt.
Yeah.
Always. Not saying that it's bad if you're in
Yeah.
that, you know, whatever. I'm not suggesting that. For me, it didn't feel right. Like it didn't feel good in my body.
Yeah.
So I needed to remove myself from that. But for a long time, I did. I was in it and I knew it didn't feel right, but you know that I was in that gotta sit for goals, gotta go, gotta be motivated, gotta, and I knew my soul was telling me that it didn't feel right. And now it's like when you actually live your authentic, unapologetically you,
Mm.
right? And you term
Yeah.
it as living aligned and authentic and fully self-expressed. And
Yes.
and
Thank
I
you.
say, yeah, and when
Yeah.
and I say living unapologetically you,
Yeah.
you're not apologizing for who you are. You are truly living in your authentic self. Then none of that stuff matters
Yeah.
because you're living from a place of inspiration and everything's
Yeah.
just flowing to you and moving and going. That doesn't
That's right.
mean, I want to say this for people. Let's it doesn't mean you're never going to have trials or tribulations in
No,
it doesn't mean that.
not
It
at
means
all.
you're now so connected to source energy, whoever you
Yeah.
want to call it. You're so connected to that energetic field that you know you can step right back into it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
right? You have
Yeah.
those tools to get out of the hurried mind, to get out of that, ego space and be in there.
Yeah.
I did a quick live on Monday, mindset about the ego versus living in your aligned spiritual self. And that this conversation feels very much like that. It's okay if you are being aware, right? Being aware
Mhm.
that you're in that and knowing that you can just easily step back into the
Yeah.
energetic field or the quantum
Yeah.
field, whatever feels good for you, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because it feels so much better, and sometimes, yeah, you do have to go into that 3D world. Because, like, for example, when, we have family gatherings, right? Like, I can't be living in 5D with all these people around me that aren't. So I just go along for a little while, and then I'm like, "Oh, I get to go back into my world," right? So I love to live in my VAP. In the Love Your Vibe transformation, we call that space your VAP, which stands for vibration of authentic power, where it's
Nice.
you and spirit are
Yep.
like, it's you driving the car and spirit's the co-pilot, right? So you get
Yep.
to drive together, or the other way around, however you want to look
Yeah.
at it. But it's about you getting to drive the car. Ego is not driving your car. Ego is actually
Yes.
sitting in the back seat nicely. My
Yes.
ego is a 3-year-old that sits in the baby seat in the back
I
seat.
love
So
it.
so we get to choose, who gets to drive the car. So when it's us and spirit as our co-pilot,
Yeah.
or God or universe, whatever you believe in, life is just a lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
100%. Janet
yeah.
says, Lisa, same with me. Thank you for saying that. I thought it was just me. I think she's referring to the network marketing.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I felt a lot of shame around it and needed to
Hmm.
get out of there. But I was going to say something about that. So my energy. This is interesting, and anybody can try this. My energy healer says when she goes to a family gathering that maybe is engaging in conversation she chooses not to engage in because she doesn't want to lower her vibration. She just kind of sits back physically, but also energetically. And she
Hmm.
steps into that observer mode.
Yeah.
She just kind of, now you're in the 5D world because you need to
Hmm.
be in that as being in awareness. You need to be in that world of kind of sitting in the energetic field, watching the conversations around you, and almost like it's just a movie happening, and you're that spectator watching and not engaging. And I
Yes.
admit, on occasion, it is so wild to do and so interesting to do, if you cannot get caught up in whatever's being said, right? Which
Yeah.
again, we're human, so it's not always easy, but it's interesting if you can trying that. Sit back, just watching the conversations that are happening. Even if you're at a
Yeah.
coffee shop and you're just sitting there, it's very interesting to take the observer mode,
Yeah.
um, and watch
I
from the
love that.
quantum field, if you will, like
Yeah.
stepping out of your body and watching it all
Yeah.
happen. So
For
yeah,
sure. Yeah, especially, when you do this inner work and you have healed a lot of the trauma, because again, nobody gets out of childhood without trauma. And when you are, on this path, and the old conversations just don't trigger the same old reactions,
mhm,
you've done healing, and you can sit back and observe, like, um like my cousin is my biggest angel of evolution.
yes,
She's forced me to evolve. I can be more that observer. And like, I remember just this past Christmas, like, it was such a beautiful Christmas, because how we show up is how everybody else shows up around us. So I have done even more inner work, so that I'm sensing she didn't feel triggered to trigger me, because
right,
how I was showing up was just so calm. And we talk about, well, Resma Menachem in My Grandmother's Hands talks about a settled body helps other bodies to settle.
right,
So as we heal, as we grow, we're more settled, so we can help those around us settle more as
yeah,
well. So I
yes.
mean, these are all the benefits of doing the inner work, where you just tend to be less triggerable, or as I say, you become unfuckwithable, unbullyable. These are some of the hashtags I've used, because
Yeah,
yeah, there was a time when that wasn't true, yeah, so
I
I
love
felt
that.
the need
I
to
love
share
it.
that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So hopefully, everyone watching or watching later, you can think about, how much throughout your day are you in a hurried mind versus an inspired mind? And this is
Mhm.
something else that, I'm going to write about, because we do live in a world that is constant. Everything's at our fingertips. There's no waiting. You can have everything you want. You just have to pick up your smartphone, your computer. Everything is right there and it's at your fingertips.
Mhm.
So I don't know about you, but I find when I'm scrolling something on social media, I can feel my breath change. I can feel myself almost moving into a hurried state
Oh,
versus, okay, put this away. I know I need to take 5 minutes of breath work. just get back into what you just termed
Mm.
settled body, get back into there, so that I'm not in a hurried state. But we're it's hard, right? Because we are all there. And I'm just saying, can you recognize when you're in that hurried
Yeah.
state? I've got to get the dishes done, I've got to make dinner, and then I got to get out the door. And, you know, just I'm inviting you to maybe, observe how often that you're sitting in that hurried state. Observe how often we say, I got to get this done. I have to
Mhm.
do this. And see if you can flip the script, right? Reframe it. I get to do this.
Yeah.
Because although, we all have chores, but can you flip it?
Yeah.
I get to vacuum. I get to wash it. For me, I don't love making dinner. So for me, it's like, I get to make dinner. That's one for me, but I'm going to try it. Here's my word. Uh,
Yeah, that's beautiful, Lisa.
if I had all the money in the world, I'd pay a chef. I say, it's the
It's
chef.
coming, Lisa. You're manifesting that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to hire a chef for sure.
Yeah.
Tori says, lately I am in a silent mind. I feel that. I have become quiet and not involved emotionally. It's not like I have ever been before. It is what it is. Yeah, but that's such a beautiful place to be in. That's a
Mhm.
really beautiful place to be in, having a silent mind
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just becoming quiet. That feels really good. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like things are unfolding for Tori Joe just as we speak, even what she said earlier about being the only one in her inner circle. It's important that we honor ourselves in our inner circle. And it's
mhm.
also important that we have connections with the right people. So, I feel like there's a, transition going on for her because you've got to bring the right people in. You've got to be able to trust, people that have your back. And if she
Agree.
doesn't feel anyone has her back right now, then that might be problematic only because we're not islands. We can't do it by ourselves. Like if I
Yeah,
didn't have my people in the inner circle where I felt seen, safe, celebrated, and supported, I'd probably feel depressed. So
yeah,
I don't know if she's feeling any depression right now, but this is where, invitation to see who are my people, who can I reach out to. So just
yeah,
putting
yeah.
that out there.
I know 100. I like that. That's good. And the other thing I was going to say is there was a period in my life shortly after I left teaching. So maybe going back 5 years ago, maybe, where I brag about this book, and I've said it so many times on the show. When the Heart Waits, and it was a period in my life where I felt like the biggest thing I can say is I felt like I was in quicksand and I
Mm,
couldn't move and I couldn't, like, there was no emotion. Like, I'm feeling that from Tori Joe, and that's kind of
yeah.
how it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I've been there too, so I can relate. Yes. Yes.
okay, so I was just going to ask you if you could relate to
Yeah.
that. And I felt at the time, I don't want to speak for anybody, but at the time I felt like I didn't know what it was. I just knew that I was in it and I
Yeah.
was sitting and doing a lot of reflecting. But I also now realize from reading that book, When the Heart Waits, it's a period in menopause that we as women
Mm,
go through. And it's
mm,
that period of, hibernation. And she talks about in the book is going into the cocoon and
yeah.
just sitting there. And it's okay to be in that space of just wanting
Yeah.
to be on your own and just wanting to, process whatever is happening and have that quiet and that
Yeah.
reflection time. Right. So
Yeah.
it was unlike anything that I'd ever experienced.
Mm.
Back now on, it was also a pretty beautiful time too. So
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Janet
Yeah.
says, I get to clean toilets and I can giggle while doing it, right?
She's our laughter yoga leader in our
Oh,
group.
it's
She's
perfect.
amazing. Yeah, she
So
can
perfect.
make anything fun. That's Janet. She's all
I
about
love
fun.
it. I love it.
Oh,
So, did you want to pull a card for us? And then I can't wait, you
yeah.
guys, because Elvira has the most beautiful little gift planned for us. I'm so
Oh.
excited.
Oh, I'm so glad you're excited. But first of all, I just found this picture on top of these
Oh,
cards,
yes.
right?
Yes.
I'm going to pull a card, but I found this picture. This is my little boy when he was like, I think around 2 and my daddy. So we
Mhm.
used to drop him off at my parents' home every day when I worked back in pharma. My husband would drop him off and anyways, that little face with those little teeth just it's such a high
Right?
vibration. And I realized like we've got to put things in our home that bring us joy and high vibration. So I invite you to put a picture of your if you've got children, just when they were little and not talking back at you, like just remember those.
I love it. You know
So
what I was gonna say to you? You should frame that picture.
yeah,
I feel like you need to frame it and put it up.
okay.
And I feel like your dad is saying that too.
Oh, well, my daddy
Um,
died 10 years, well, 11 years this May. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and
And
feeling
thank
that.
you.
And
Yeah.
my energy healer also said to me once when I was going through a lot with my daughter, she said, find a picture of when she was little.
Yeah.
Find that baby picture because the vibration in there
Yeah.
is huge because that's who
Yeah.
they truly are.
Yes. They're these
And
little innocent, now he's like Mr. like, I don't know, he's a manager at Shopify and data science. And,
yeah,
he puts me in my place, a lot of times. And, but back then he was just
I
this like
know.
little, anyway, so I'm just having a mommy moment. Thank you for
I love
indulging
it.
me.
I love it.
I know Janet can relate to this for sure. Okay. So, yes, let's pull a card. Let's see what spirit has in store. So let me just shake shuffle 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and put all of your energy on there. And the card I pull for you today, for us today, this one seems to come up a lot. So clearly it's a message the universe wants us to have. The
Oh,
soul giraffe. Yeah, yeah. Isn't
yeah.
that funny? It came up
Before.
again. Okay.
Okay.
So an invitation to take this in and see what it means to you, and put it in the comments if you care to share what this means to you. Attributes: vision, grace, higher vantage, seeing obstacles. The soul giraffe is here to help you with your grander vision, to allow you to see higher and farther. The long neck of the soul giraffe gives you an elevated view of what's on the horizon, as well as another vantage point of the big picture. We're also reminded that perhaps we cannot label something as good or bad, right or wrong, unless we can see the full picture. The giraffe gracefully glides along the path, spotting what others cannot. And the potential questions to ask this archetype are: if I could see higher and farther, what would I see? What is on the horizon for this situation, whatever situation you're going through right now? Instead of the low hanging fruit, what if I went for the lofty fruit? What might be within my grasp if I went higher in my thinking or viewpoint? And finally, what danger is up ahead that I haven't seen yet? So, soul giraffe, isn't that cool? What does that mean to you, Lisa?
What just came through, and I wrote it down quickly. What just came through for me, as you were saying, the giraffe with the vantage point and up high, I was getting that observer mode. The
Yeah,
observer mode, like sitting back, sitting higher up, sitting in the quantum field, the energetic field. That's what I was picking up. That's what, for me anyway, that's what, I
yeah,
don't speak for everybody. Everybody would get something different.
yeah.
But I feel like that served its purpose for us here with that, being in that
Mm,
mode. Recognizing what you need versus what you don't need, not calling anything good or bad. It just
yeah,
is, and being the observer because that
yeah,
giraffe is so high,
yeah.
he or she can be that observer, right?
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
Is
Yeah. Yeah.
so
And that's what, if I'm just being inspired to share that, that's what saved Eckhart Tolle's life, was
yes,
that when he realized that he was not his monkey mind, with all this chatter and saying, you're horrible, you don't deserve to live, or whatever the self talk was. He didn't want to live anymore, just like
yes,
me at rock bottom. But he was not that voice in his head. He was the
yes,
observer of that voice. He
yes,
was he was the listener. So I invite us all to realize that when there's negative stuff going on in here, remember that you are a higher being. You are that giraffe, and you and spirit are together. You can choose to take that perspective, or you can choose to be down here. It's your choice. You get
yeah,
to decide.
yeah. I love that. I love it. Tori Joe says, I have learned to not think everyone or anyone will believe the description of the view. You learn to not think that everyone or anyone will believe the description of the view. So I'm taking that. Sorry, I don't want to. But does that mean like not everyone is on the same path as you? So not everybody shares the same views.
Mm.
That's is that how I'm taking that? Just maybe clarify. And then Janet says, I love the concept of being the observer. Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
beautiful.
Nice.
Elvira, thank you so much for sharing that. And before we go, can you please share with us this beautiful gift?
Okay, thank you for inviting. Yeah,
You
so
are
we're at time, but
I know
my husband just he just tuned my Reverie harp, which is this beautiful sound healing instrument I use, and I just wanted to just do like a quick,
how beautiful that is. Look at the
yeah,
tree, the gold. I'm looking. Oh,
right? Isn't it gorgeous? And
yes.
it's built in Michigan in the States. They use these, they put them on people's bodies in hospitals to help them heal faster
Oh
because
my
sound
God.
healing is really scientifically proven. This is what I just love doing it for that reason. And yeah, and this is one
Okay.
of my favorite instruments. So I'm just
I'm
gonna
gonna
play a
just
few. Yeah, just gonna see what comes through. Okay, so I just invite you to take it in. Close your eyes. Breathe into your heart. Beautiful sisters, beautiful sisters divine, know that you are perfect and you're here to shine your beautiful light in this world. Beautiful sisters divine.
oh my goodness. I could feel that. Like I just felt it right through. And I felt so connected. And that was just, oh, I could actually cry
You're
with
gonna
that.
make me cry.
It was so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I have chills and I'm like, oh,
I love you, Lisa. I
oh
feel so seen by you. Like
my
everything that I
gosh.
be, you see me, and I see you as well.
Because I'm just feeling this so deeply. So thank you, because that was a gift for me today. Wow. Yeah.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. I love it. And that is such a beautiful way to end this. I'm so grateful. So thank you all for staying on it that couple minutes extra for us. We really appreciate all of you so, so much. We really do.
Yeah,
Um, we love that you join with us. We love that you week after week you get on and engage with us. We love it so much. So thank you.
so grateful.
Oh, until next week,
Ah.
have a beautiful, inspirational day.
Mm.
3, 2,